Hello everyone! To this point, we all know about self and peer assessment. In today's lecture, I will talk about some considerations when using self and peer assessment. So, what should we do to maximize its benefits? Well, the very first consideration is building a climate of trust and collaboration in your classroom. The teacher should reassure learners that peer assessment is about helping each other to improve, and it should be a positive experience for everyone. Once students feel safe and comfortable, certainly they are willing to take part in the process. Secondly, take it one bit at a time. It's a matter of fact that you, your colleagues, and your students may be new to the peer and self-assessment. So, introducing it on a small scale first is important. Take your time and please don't rush. Next, keep everyone in the picture. This is really crucial in order that students actively engage in self and peer assessment. Explain to students and staff what you are doing and why. This will help everyone understand and commit to the technique. For example, students benefit from reassurance that they are acquiring an assessment skill that they will use in their future careers and which help with their learning. Then, providing mark-free rehearsals opportunities. Active participation in self and peer assessment helps students to identify and understand the meaning of criteria of learning target. So, giving marks is of secondary importance. Moreover, mark-free opportunities equal risk-free opportunities. Students can make mistakes and learn from them without penalties. This helps learners to dispel the feelings of fear, anxiety, and embarrassment. This will open the way for corrective explanations to be explored and thus helps them to learn. The next consideration involves providing or more ideally negotiating really clear assessment criteria. Peer and self-assessment should be conducted in ways that directly involve students in the identification of criteria and standards which relates to this work. There is particular benefits for students to develop their understanding of success criteria through discussion, guidance, and illustration. We now come to the next consideration: making peer and self-assessment marks meaningful. It has already been noted that peer and self-assessment are uniquely useful for helping students to develop their understanding of criteria and standards used in judging their work. And that is this quality which provides the primary learning benefits. However, student engagement can be further enhanced if a meaningful proportion of the marks used to determine final grades are derived using peer and self-assessments. That is to say, it should count for something more than just a learning aid. It just depends on the teachers to decide how much. For example, it may account for 10% or 20% of the final grades. Well, one more thing to remember is keeping the system simple. It is certain that the more complex the system, the less likely workloads will be reduced, and the less likely it will be for students and teachers to engage with it. One special attention when carrying out self and peer assessment is allowing enough time. Well, assessment is a very hard nut to crack, and assessing is a complex skill, and it is a skill which needs time to develop. In addition, peer assessment is collaborative. This means that it involves discussion and debate and a search for shared understanding. All of this takes time, but research shows that it is time well spent in bringing about improved learning outcomes. Then, making peer and self-assessment an integral part of learning. Well, as noted earlier, self and peer assessment are essential for effective learning. So, teachers should facilitate daily, ongoing review of individual progress. Moreover, if students are given regular opportunities to contribute to self and peer assessment, this will enable them to develop critical personal evaluation skills and so become successful and increasingly independent learners. Well, last but not least, the teacher should emphasize the crucial relationship among criteria, evidence, self and peer assessment. The advice is simply to help students to focus the judgments of their performance directly on the assessment criteria. In other words, students should be helped to learn how to make and justify these judgments using evidence that is directly relevant to particular criteria. Right, I have talked about some considerations when carrying out self and peer assessment. Once you have decided to conduct self and peer assessment in your own classroom, please take this into consideration to ensure the success of these activities. So far, we have learned about self and peer assessment and some considerations when carrying out these activities. I believe that you are now more confident in applying self and peer assessment in your own class. Thank you very much for watching.